What's going on, people? We are Tottenham TV, back here with yet another Tottenham update and quite a bit to get through. First up, talking about Ange Postecoglou. Surprise, surprise, as Miguel Delaney says, as of Friday morning, Tottenham Hotspur still hadn't made an official decision on Ange, but the chances of him staying had apparently gone down from last week's 5%. His departure is still expected whenever that may be.
It's gone down from, what was that, before the final or after the final?
I'm guessing after.
So it's
well,
gone,
maybe it was before, I don't know.
They're saying, yeah, I'm not sure. Are they saying it was 5% after and it's gone down since then, or it's 5% before and then it went up and back down? I don't know what they're saying.
Well, all they're saying is last week it was 5% and now it's less.
Now it's less. Look, Miguel Delaney's not the best. But anyway, look, I'm only because I don't like to hear what he's saying, but it's going to be interesting.
If Miguel Delaney's saying Spurs are signing Eze, he's the best journalist in the world.
Exactly, he's spot on. If he's saying Ange's staying, I believe every word he's saying. He does have a very mixed record, it's fair to say. It's going to be very interesting how obviously it's interesting how it's going to play out, but there's this documentary we've just seen a trailer for that's showing Ange's pre-final speech, and it's got a lot of people on social media ground swelling for support again. And it's going to be very interesting if they show that documentary, show his amazing speech that before the final, obviously which we won, and then sack him after that. Because I think after they show this documentary, there's going to be a lot of support for him again. So it's going to be interesting how that plays out. Yeah,
I mean, look, regardless of anything, like Ange Postecoglou, whether he stays or goes, he was very important to bring success to this football club. So you can never take that away from him. But I feel like at the end of this documentary, they just got to end it with Ange coming out saying, "I'm fucking staying," or just "Thanks for the memories, goodbye."
Yeah, but
just let us know. Either way, we need to know.
Yeah, for sure. And it's very frustrating always waiting around, not knowing. We're now over a week after the final. We're now a few days gone, 5 days after the season is being brought to a close.
Transfer window literally opens this weekend.
We've got a window tomorrow. Yeah. Teams are making signings who we're competing with next season, and we're sitting here deliberating whether we want this manager to stay or not. And obviously, clearly, for whatever reason, they haven't announced it yet. Some speculating they're waiting for the UCL final to conclude, so maybe we can go for Inzaghi or not. Others are saying, I've heard a conspiracy theory, we're waiting for all the positive feeling to die down on Ange, so that when they do sack him, it's not as bad as, if they sacked him day after the final or day after the season, then it would have been a lot more backlash, whereas they wait a bit, and then the good feeling dies down, and maybe
they should be putting out this documentary then.
Yeah, that's true. That's also for sure. They should definitely wait till they sack him to put out this documentary if they're going to do that. Look, there's all these conspiracy theories going out right now, but we're just in limbo, and it's not good for anyone.
So
the longer this goes
on. I do kind of feel like I am getting to the feeling that he's not going to be our manager next season. That's just my gut feeling. And I feel it's just because the reason it's taking so long is because they are in the background looking at different options and trying to put some feelers out of who can be our manager next season. But who knows?
That does make sense. But as well, I also kind of feel like we would be hearing really serious links to some managers. We're not hearing much in terms of who we want.
On the flip side of that, we know that Johan Lang works in the darkness, and a lot of signings that we've had since he's come in, there's been nothing about it in the press.
Fair.
So
maybe that's the case.
We don't know. So anyway, that's the Ange Postecoglou situation. Let us know in the comment section below, though. What are your gut feelings, guys? Do you think he's going to be here next season, or do you think he won't be? Let's talk about Matisse Tell. Bleacher Report says that Matisse Tell wants to join Tottenham on a permanent deal this summer, and when you see what he's like around the group and the fans and is celebrating, it does feel like he loves it here at Tottenham, doesn't he?
Yeah,
and Alistair Gold does say that Tottenham would prefer to keep Tell, but at nowhere near the figure initially quoted. Either they'll get the price tag knocked right down, or they'll agree a deal to take him on loan again, or they will simply switch to another target. So basically,
all three options are available to us. Apart from him retiring, I think all we know is he will be playing football somewhere next season. For a club. Look, of course, he's come in in a difficult situation. I think clearly he knows Odebear, and he's built quite a close relationship to the club. You saw in his interview after the game, after the parade after the final game against Brighton, he said, Tottenham is more than a club, it's everything to us, and I love my teammates. Even, but during the season, he was very much talking up his teammates and how he believes in them, and we saw as well at other points backing up the team and Ange when he jumped into the crowd after Fulham to interact with fans and try and get them on side. So clearly he feels like he's part of the team and part of the club. So it seems like he wants to stay. And I think that depending on what they seem behind closed doors, it seems like the fans haven't been so impressed with him, but maybe the club like him and the manager likes him. And obviously they got him for a reason, doing all the scouting. But the barefaced facts is, hasn't really done it on the pitch that often since we've had him. Now, there's a lot of reasons for that, a lot of context for that in terms of his age and new league, and also consistent game time with the first team. A lot of the time it's been with our second team, hasn't it, in the Premier League? So it would have been very hard for him to be at his best that whole time. But the reality is he hasn't, and we have to make a tough decision. Do we truly believe that he's had this adjustment period and next season he's really going to get going? Or is it a case of more hope that we're thinking it's going to happen? So I would like to see him stay, but I'd also, in a perfect world, would like to see us sign a real world-class player in that position. How likely that is, I don't know. But I think this guy could potentially be a really good player for us, but we might have to be a bit more patient.
Yeah, which is the reality. And look, I do like him. I like what he's about. I like his attitude. I can definitely see some green shoots there, but is it enough for me to say that he can really improve to the rate that we want him to improve at next season for us to go into the Champions League and have a good campaign there? I do question it a lot, and I'm just not sure about it, to be honest. And yeah, I agree with you. I'd prefer to see like a more established player come in. And I don't think he's going to reach that, which we think he'll reach next season, albeit I do feel like he can get there eventually in his career, but I just feel like it'll just be a bit too slow for us. That's the problem.
Maybe with a pre-season behind him. Maybe development. Maybe
it's a big risk.
Yeah,
it's a big risk, and I don't think we can afford those risks.
Well, it's a risk in our eyes. Maybe in the club's eyes, they see more than we do.
Yeah, the club made the decision to bring Timo Werner back in, so I don't really trust the way they look at things.
Fair.
Next up, we're going to talk about Josh Keeley. Alistair Gold says Josh Keeley, who's had a brilliant loan spell at Leyton Orient, 16 clean sheets, the 22-year-old is expected to be handed a new contract and then given another loan at a higher level with plenty of interest in his services, which is great to hear. We've been following him closely over the course of the season. I mean, his season's just been fantastic, from the goal in the FA Cup to send them through to the performance against Man City and countless amounts of brilliant performances in a Leyton Orient shirt this season.
And a call up to the Irish national team as well.
Exactly,
so his career has gone from strength to strength. I'm so happy for him. Clearly the guy has serious ability, the way he's kind of taken that loan spell and really been a big reason why they were in the playoffs. Him alone, like he was absolutely phenomenal. The club obviously love him, Leyton Orient, and I'm really interested to see how he does next season with the Championship loan. And look, at the end of the day, and I know we all love Vicario, and obviously Kinsey's coming as well, but with him, playing as he is, they got to be on their toes, because we got a keeper there that has clearly a lot of potential. Maybe one day does have enough quality to be a number one here at Tottenham. Yeah. So if Vicario allows those performances in the Premier League to seep into his play, then all of a sudden, in a year's time, maybe Keeley could be making a chance in the first team.
With Kinsey on top of that as well.
Yeah, so, Kinsey there as well.
So, yeah, Vicario definitely has to be on his toes, in my opinion. If these performances in the last stage of the Premier League campaign carry on into next season, there'll be big question marks over him. And Kinsey is obviously first in line because he'll be the backup next season. But in a couple of years' time, Keeley will be there knocking on the door as well. So we've got some really good keepers in our ranks as well. Not to mention Luca Gunter, who got his first taste of men's football this season as well in the non-league, I think with Wealdstone. So there's a big line of keepers at Spurs right now, and it's great to see. It really is, because before Vicario joined the club, we had Keeley there, but nobody knew of his real talent. There was talk of him in Ireland and stuff like that, but we had Lloris, we had was it Forster there, and the keeper situation at Spurs looked so dire, but now it looks so healthy.
Yeah, it looks like a great future, and obviously a brilliant decision to give him a new contract if and when we do it, and tie him down for the next few years and see how he develops. I think it's
Another
great.
one for West Brom.
100%. Mason's going to be making a lot of phone calls, I think.
Alistair Gold also says that Tottenham will look for a new forward to bolster their numbers, as Postecoglou found himself on many occasions with no recognised 9 to call upon last season.
Yeah.
And does that mean that Richarlison's staying and we need a number 9 on top of that? Or does that mean if Richarlison goes, we need 2 numbers? What does that mean?
Well, I read the article and he said no doubt that if Tottenham get a good offer for Richarlison, they'll consider it. So I think he's implying he's going to leave. Obviously, last season it was just... It was. I don't think you can say it was a planning issue why we didn't have it. We haven't have a number 9 for large parts. I think a lot of it is obviously Rishi for the beginning of the season was out. He then comes back, and then Solanke goes out, and then Rishi gets injured again, and so for about a month or 6 weeks we had no number 9. But look, we have 2 in the squad. You got Rishi and Solanke. Solanke, by the way, is a number 9 who's known for not getting injured. So you just got to say that's just unfortunate that. We had no number 9 for a significant period of time. You got 2 there who are both pretty good. So is what it is. But I think at this point, we know Rishi's injury record since he's come to Tottenham. I think he's a good player. I think he's a good number 9 when he's been called upon. And obviously, in the run to the final, put in a really good shift for the team. But unfortunately, he's just been proven to be too unreliable fitness-wise. And I think we just need to cut our losses, move him on, and get someone who we can rely on to be fit more often.
Yeah, I completely agree with that. And it'll be interesting to see which kind of number 9 we do bring in. We've heard loads of links do the rounds on social media and stuff like that, but nothing too serious just yet. So
yeah,
I guess we got to wait for it to know who our manager is going to be first and foremost before we start seeing some serious links for strikers to come in.
Do you think there's any chance a new manager comes in and looks at Richie and says, I want to keep him?
Yeah, but I just feel like the club are going to make a decision on Richie to sell him because of those injury problems.
Yeah.
The Manchester Evening News are claiming that James McAtee is set to leave Manchester City this summer, valued at £25 million. McAtee believes he is believed to have keen on a move to the Bundesliga, given how similar players as shine in the league and enjoy regular Champions League football. Nottingham Forest and Spurs are among several Premier League clubs interested in keeping McAtee in England. I like him. I like the look of him this season.
Yeah, he's been good for City when he's played. He's been good for Sheffield United when he was in their team as well. Good little player. Kind of get the feeling he's just waiting for that chance to become a main player. A bit similar to Palmer and other players who've left that City academy and just gone on to flourish. They've got a brilliant academy. Obviously, I don't think he's Palmer level. Don't get me wrong, not yet anyway. But he's a good little player who definitely is Premier League quality and definitely has a lot more to offer than he's getting at Man City. It's not City's fault that they've got chock-a-block of talent and he hasn't maybe got the opportunities he should have, but he's a brilliant player. City's the one club where you can justifiably say just because they're letting him go doesn't mean he's no good. Yeah. Because they let go of a lot of talent, just because of how much talent they have. So I like him. Where he fits in here, very versatile player. Definitely probably at his best in a number 10 position, but definitely played on the wing a bit for City as well. But winger in our system, I don't know if that's the kind of winger we want. So
depends who our manager is, I guess.
Yeah, again, depends who our manager is. Yeah, I like him, but it's a bit of a link which, quite tenuous, I would say.
And last but not least, Alistair Gold saying that Tottenham will look for a new deep-lying midfielder this summer. Spurs have plenty of admiration for Adam Wharton. However, Palace won't be willing to offload numerous stars.
Yeah.
But, I mean, if you admire Wharton so much, you should have gone for him before Palace went for him.
Correct. There was heavy rumours that we were, and I don't know if they gazumped us or we just weren't interested in the end or we didn't want to pay the money. But obviously they got him for, 20 million? And we were in the market for him, and now he's worth 60, 70. So even after the cup win, probably more. Especially if they sell one of Eze or Guehi, they would demand top dollar for him. So I think Wharton probably unlikely to be gettable unless we get him before they sell Eze or Guehi. I can't see all three leaving.
Yeah,
I mean, a stretch maybe two, but
even two,
really yeah.
So I mean, the thing is though, they might not have options because Guehi's going into his last year, and Eze has a release clause of 60 million for Champions League teams.
Yeah.
So if any Champions League team go and whack 60 million on the table for Eze, then he's off. And then do they have to sell Guehi just, because they need the money in?
And the reality is Wharton's the least likely of those players to leave.
Absolutely.
I think he's got quite a long contract.
Yeah,
so.
he only just joined.
Yeah, so. Well, he's 18 months he's been there.
Yeah. So in terms of Guehi, though, Alice Gold also mentioned in the article that if Romero was to leave, then he's the one that we're going to look to get in.
Yeah, it makes a lot of sense. Premier League proven. He fits in our back line. England starting for England at the moment. The only thing is he's more used to at the moment playing for a back three, but looking at him, how he plays, I don't think he's going to have any trouble playing in a back two.
Didn't he play in the back two for England?
Yeah, he did,
really
yeah.
well.
Yeah,
really
he did well.
He was the best
playing on the left-hand side as well.
Yeah. So should we get him in regardless?
Regardless?
Yeah, if he can play on the left-hand side.
I mean,
To a
I'd
high
like
level.
to. I'd like to. I don't think we're going to splash whatever it is, 50 million on a
Do you think he's still 50 million going into the last year of his contract?
Maybe not 50. Yeah, maybe 40, 35.
I mean,
something like
35 for a player of Guehi's quality is unbelievable value.
Yeah, I mean, I'll take him. For sure, I'll take him.
But anyway, that is your Tottenham update for today. Let me know in the comment section below your thoughts regarding all the news stories brought to you today. Like, subscribe, and comment. And as always, come on, you Spurs.